ended up winning. I am going to apologize that I'm unable to actually do a CPU versus CPU game on here. 9 takeaways for the Raiders. Holy shit.
Jim Nantz saying so long.
629 yards for Andy Dalton. How about that? But unfortunately, I can't play as neither team. I have to choose one, which basically means that it's essentially not going to happen. However, I feel like it is going to be interesting to continue to see what goes on, what happens in this simulation. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of not being able to do CPU versus CPU gameplay on Madden 16. I know I could see here on my computer that there is a way. It's just really, really hard. Yeah, it's just doesn't look like it's there. There's a bunch of people that are asking about it from long, May 26, 2015, long before it was released. But nothing that actually gives me an easy way to do this. So that really bites. It really does, because there's no way to actually watch to see what happens, which is fucking stupid. And I think right now I'm going to just continue finishing this week. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly what's going to happen with this. I'm going to finish all of week 1. There's probably going to be like 6 videos on just week 1 alone because of how long it takes to simulate each and every game. But I'm going to sim through week 1. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see, what goes on in week 1. But right now, I just don't know exactly what happens, and I just kind of am disappointed that that's the case, because CPU versus CPU would have been amazing to do on here. But I think we'll stick with this one. It's still kind of an interesting idea to sim and see what happens each and every week. See the road to the Super Bowl. I think it gets kind of repetitive when people just essentially play the same game over and over and over again. They're just one team, and it's really stupid. Really stupid. So we're gonna just sim through this here. We're gonna move through this. Oh, look at that! I'm actually receiving. So maybe every once in a while I do receive. So it's still kind of random. So that's good. Though obviously I am every team, so I guess I'm always kind of receiving. But I just don't want it to be that every team that I actually play as is going to be the one receiving, because that's a little unfair. Or kicking, that's what I meant. I'm usually kicking. But, wow, Buffalo's actually taken it to Indianapolis. Though Indianapolis's overall rating as a team went down dramatically after a kind of crummy season they had last year. So right now, Buffalo actually has the edge. I don't think Indianapolis is going to walk out of this with the W. No, they are down by 14, 11. they're working their way back. Oh, man, 5-point game. Buffalo almost blew the lead, but they end up dominating at the end. 55-29. 55-29. Very good game for Buffalo. They nailed those rushing yards, though. Look at that. 476 total yards on the ground. That's damn impressive. That's damn impressive, to say the very least. That is freaking amazing for them. So, with that being done, going back now quickly to what I'm going to do with the series, I like doing this. I actually do this all the time, where I don't watch the CPU play because I never figured out how to do it before. I guess it's been a while since I've actually played this game, but I believe that this could be really interesting to continue. So I very well might, but obviously if people don't like it, if it's not getting a lot of views, or if people view it and they don't like what they're seeing, they could probably just comment how terrible and crappy this series is. But I'm looking on my Twitch stream, actually, and it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that it's actually kind of rendering in HD, because I was a little bit worried, since I don't have a capture card. Literally the only way for me to get any PlayStation 4 footage onto YouTube is to go on Twitch, to do a Twitch stream, and then to download that Twitch stream, and then to put that on an iMovie video editor, and then to edit the video, and then repost those videos, because I'm only allowed to do 15 minutes at a time, into YouTube 15 minutes at a time. So that's what's going to happen. But I am probably going to continue this series until further notice, at least until I find out that it totally sucks. I'm probably going to at least do one season. If the season ends and there's no positive feedback, then, that'll be it then. But even if a couple of people think that it's kind of a cool thing, like I do, to watch these kind of simulations play out, or they like to give me ideas on, who to trade to where, then I'll happily continue this series past, whenever that is. But for the time being, right now, Baltimore is leading 23-16 against the defending champion Broncos. The Broncos, obviously, without Peyton Manning, they've got Paxton Lynch in at quarterback. And it looks like Paxton's got a little bit of a ways to go. Oh, but Denver's now down by 3, and now they're actually winning this game. I spoke too soon. Paxton Lynch is clutch as fuck. Look at that. Denver just pulled away in the last quarter. They legit just pulled away in the last quarter and won the game 44-26. Very impressive. Very impressive. I'm not going to lie. That was a great comeback by Paxton Lynch. 508 total yards of passing. Look at that. Both teams turned the ball over 4 times. Get used to those turnovers, because they happen a lot in this game. They happen a lot. It looks like someone might have gotten injured because the quarterback that they had for Baltimore's screen only had like 38 yards passing. So there's a very good chance they came up clutch because they lost Joe Flacco to an injury. I wouldn't put it past them. We're going to look back at this at the end once all of this is over to find out exactly who got injured, what the big deal is, some of the stats. That's always interesting, in my opinion, to see exactly where people stand. So here we go with the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. At least one of these teams will win. To be honest with you, the Jets are actually 82 overall in this game, which is kind of cool. but the Browns being 77 overall as a team, a little bit rough, but perhaps Cleveland can get something going. Cody Kessler and Carl Hackenberg in at quarterback for both teams, which means it's going to be a rookie battle at the quarterback position, at least until someone gets injured. Pardon me. So, but I'm a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie. While I don't usually watch CPU versus CPU battles, I actually just simulate it and see what happens. Because here's the thing. I get tired of playing with the same team over and over again. And then playing with every team just takes way too long. Like a week is like 5 weeks. Because you got to play one game, which takes forever. And then you've got to play another game, which takes forever. Then you got to do that 14 more times on top of that for 16 total games. So that's a little stupid, in my opinion. But let's see what goes on. For this, I'm just going to go on and simulate each game. Looks like a tie game so far, which is interesting. Oh, Cleveland took a slight advantage here. 6-point, 9-point game, a couple of field goals. And there's the touchdowns, 2 of them. So Cleveland pulling ahead about midway through the game. I was going to say early, but about midway through the game. And now the Jets trying to make a late game comeback, and they get it done. Oh, but Cleveland gets right back into it. Oh, man. And Cleveland's just about won it. Oh, no. Oh, that was close. That was close right here, though. Right here. Look at that pick. A clutch interception by Davis. Ends up winning it for Cleveland. So the Browns start off 1-0. The Browns start off 1-0. That is impressive. But the Jets, not surprised that they lost, to be honest with you. If any team's going to fuck up bad enough, it's going to be the Jets. So, look at Skrine here. All right, so the Browns, 526 yards passing for Hackenberg there from Penn State, starting for the Jets. Those 6 takeaways, that last takeaway won the game for him. Look at that. Look at those stats, man. Cody Kessler had almost 500 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Hackenberg, 526 and 5 touchdowns. I bet you those rookie stats right there are going to be hella good in comparison to a lot of players who are veterans in this league. So that was an amazing matchup. One of the things that is going to be interesting to see is if any of these teams can break records, because sometimes they get really close and other times it's not quite there. So let's see. We got the Buccaneers and Titans. Obviously, this was the battle of the first 2 draft picks last year. And why not do it again? But this time with a little bit of a difference, as there are very slight changes to these teams with all these rookies and whatnot. As we're going to get ready for this game. We're going to get ready here. It's going to be awesome. We're going to get pumped as Tampa Bay and Tennessee. I stuttered there for a minute. Tampa Bay and Tennessee get ready for this head-to-head matchup. Now, if you're not one to watch these simulations, then obviously you don't have to keep watching. But if you're like me and you find it interesting, you want to see what goes on, and you want to see it fast. Like, while I would love to see the last 10 minutes of each game that is close, I can't. And I apologize for that. But I still feel like it's worth